Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. All right, we're going to run through some quick details here this morning. Going to make it a quick live stream to just catch you up on what is happening with the Russia and Ukraine conflict early this morning on Saturday, my friends. Let's just run through some details. It's not going to be a long one here, folks, because I have things to be and places to do. But let's go at it here. All right, let's go right to the top. Some interesting things going on this morning, folks. Definitely some interesting things concerning this situation here. Now, I've been seeing numerous reports of signs of Twitter disruption across Russia. This has been reported over many hours now. And this is interesting, my friends. I will show you this. This has been posted as detained saboteurs in Nikopol. In other words, this has been reported as Russian saboteurs that are detained, but the reporting also shows that these saboteurs are wearing Ukrainian uniforms and carrying Ukrainian weapons. So, which of course the saboteurs would do, trying to blend in. But there's more to that story. There is more to that, much more to that. We'll probably touch upon that in a minute here. Okay, here we have a Russian convoy rolling through Dolinsk, Zaporizhzhia region. Again, this was posted by Marks. And again, this stuff is just moving all over the place right now. And if you're out there, pop in the chat, say hello. Just trying to catch you up on the latest details here. Not going to be a long live stream, folks. Not going to be at all, but pop in the chat, say hi, and I'm going to keep right on moving here. Okay, so we've all seen many images of tanks moving. Now, here's an interesting piece of material. Countries that have announced that they're blocking Russian-registered planes and airlines from using its airspace. That would be the UK, Estonia, Poland, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, and Latvia. And I think that there are more than that even. This looks like a piece of broken down Russian equipment. I can't translate this here. I'm not going to take the time to right now. So we will keep rolling on here. We've got a Boeing P-8A Poseidon moving in the air right now in that region. That's an American plane. And maybe you saw my post earlier here on YouTube that Russia hit shipping vessel of U.S. Actually, wrong post. Of allied Japan with a missile in the Black Sea, one casualty. So we've had several ships that are not military ships struck, whether deliberately or not deliberately, by the Russians in the Black Sea over the last couple of days. This is another sabotage group canceled right here. But then there's more to this sabotage story, folks. And if I get down far enough in my list of information here, I will show you. But these Russian soldiers have been coming into the country, and they've been dressed as Ukrainians, and the Ukrainian forces are in some cases catching them. Hello, Wilson H. Glad to have you here. Let's keep rolling, my friends. Let's keep on getting into the details because there's more on this. Some of this is not so important. More of it is. Hungary is now ready to support sanctions against Russia. This is reported by the Polish Prime Minister through Nexta. We're moving right along. Now, again, we're seeing more reporting of, this is from NetBlocks, retweeted by Black's Kitchen. Confirmed live metrics show that Twitter has been restricted on multiple providers in Russia as of 9 o'clock a.m. UTC. And the incident comes as the government clashes with social media platforms over policy in retaliation to Ukraine conflict. I mean, there's an image of all of the different locations where Twitter is down right now. And Netherlands has announced it will deliver 200 Stinger man pads to the Ukraine. That was tweeted by World on Alert. That has appeared through a number of sources this morning. Here we have a residential building that was reportedly hit in Chernihiv by Russian munitions. Let's get a look at this. Again, that is a residential building, my friends. Okay, we're continuing to move along here. Now, again, Russian forces are claiming that they do not target civilians. They did it, again, hitting that building right there. So it's just another example of them targeting civilians, unless, of course, that was highly incidental, and I doubt that it was. Here we have reports of heavy shelling in Chernihiv, and again, that is this morning. We'll have a look here. Okay, we have that, and we're going to keep right on rolling, my friends. We're going to keep right on going. We have, again, Russian troops now are patrolling the streets in Melitopol. This is all provided by Marks here. He has been running a quite a yeoman's task here, running all this information out for us. And then you see the Z on the motorized equipment there. And as I understand it, that Z means equipment poised to move directly into the Ukraine. Oh, you really can't see that well, can you? There you go. Another Russian soldier there. This is in Melitopol in the Ukraine. The Russians have taken over this town. Okay, we're going to keep right on rolling. We've got a reconnaissance aircraft of the Russian Space Forces took off from the airfield in Barnavichi. That's the Brest region of Belarus. So we'll get a look at that. And again, this will be heading to the Ukraine. Some reconnaissance aircraft right there. Don't know how well you can see that, my friends, but there you go. All right, going to keep right on going here. We saw that. The story that I wanted to find you has to do with deserters. But before we get to that, this was posted by Solomia Bobrovska, who is a member of the Parliament of Ukraine. But here's Russia's losses as of 26th of February. And again, let's hope that this is accurate, not because we just want accurate numbers here. Now, according to the Ukraine, these are Russia's losses as of today. 3,500 soldiers, 102 tanks, 536 armored vehicles, 15 artillery pieces, 14 fighter jets, 8 helicopters, and 1 Buk-1 system that was originally posted to the Kiev Independent. We have the Ukraine's capital of Kiev toughening curfew violators to be considered enemies. So if you're out on the streets after this curfew goes into place at night, you will be considered an enemy. Again, some more aircraft on the move here. Some explosions. Again, just more signs of war in the Ukraine. Right there. Kind of hard to see again. Oh, there you go. Not so hard to see right there. Likely a mortar strike right there in the Ukraine. We're seeing some repetition of material here, folks, as that's going to happen. But one thing I wanted to touch upon here quickly is there was a reports that I saw earlier now as far as that there were Ukrainian soldiers that were attempting to desert to the Russian side, and they were caught by Ukrainian military police. At first, it was believed that they were Russians dressed as Ukrainian soldiers while carrying Ukrainian arms. See, one of the giveaways was these soldiers that were caught were carrying Ukrainian rifles, or rifles common to what is used in the Ukraine. They may very well have been deserters attempting to join the Russian side, but they were caught by Russian military police. Again, this had to have been down quite a ways here. Let's get a look at this rocket strike here on this building, folks. Again, this is somewhat old. This was, I believe, was yesterday. But this information is just coming. There, you saw it right there. This information is just coming up quickly. Hundreds of pieces of information. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's run through this thread right here. Let's run through this because this is very interesting. Hello, Mucking Fuddled. Good morning, my good man. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. All right, let's run through this. Now, this is the story I was alluding to, and this is very fascinating. Let's see if we can get into this thread here. Captured Ukrainian soldiers in Nikopol. Okay, let's hold that thought. Because this could be very, and there they are right there, okay? These are captured Ukrainian soldiers in Nikopol. They've got them laid out on that dock right there. And at first, this wasn't verified, just appeared will update, and this is all provided by ASB News Military. The uniforms are 100% Ukrainian. There's no doubt about that, so this post will stay up, just waiting for the backstory to surface to verify it. Again, these are Ukrainian uniforms. They had Ukrainian weapons. These are Ukrainian military police right here. There will be a better shot here where you can see. Okay, well, first there's the Ukrainian Fort 221. This is the type of weapon that these guys were carrying. So, if they were Russian, why would they have these Ukrainian weapons? And then this series of tweets in this feed goes on to say these are Ukrainians in its entirety. The police arresting them, rifles, uniforms, all of it. These might indeed be saboteurs. Okay, so there was a concern they were saboteurs, as they call them, dressed in Ukrainian uniforms, but the guns don't make much sense in that case. No clue. We'll keep looking into it, and he kept looking into it. Now we're hearing that they're deserters. Wanted to switch sides. Isn't this interesting? Which explains the guns, because they are Ukrainians and they were attempting to switch over to the Russian side. They were caught up with 3 other sources confirm this, but that is very interesting. And there they are again. These are Ukrainians that evidently were attempting to desert over to the Russian side, but they were caught by Ukrainian military police. Now, we don't know how much of that is going on right now. Good morning, Minnie Bacon. Good morning again. Yeshua is coming. We've got Wilson H in there. Hello, Frank. Will this turn into a cold war? I'm more concerned about this turning into a hot war, but we will see. We will see, Frank. I don't know at this point. There's so many variables here. Thank you, my friend, for being here. Let's continue on with a few more details here in this short stream. Now, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry is apparently launching a hotline for the mothers of Russian soldiers captured or killed in Ukraine, and there have been a number of them. And some of these Russian soldiers, and again, this was a couple hours ago. Some of these Russian soldiers, I mean, they're barely kids. I mean, some of these guys are still in their teens. There was one particular scene where the Ukrainians had captured a young Russian soldier, and this kid was crying. He was literally crying. And while these were Ukrainian citizens who were armed that had captured this Russian soldier, they were yelling at him. They were asking him, "Why are you here? Why don't you turn around and go home?" But this kid was whimpering, crying, sitting on the steps of a house. Some of these soldiers from Russia, I guess the story goes, folks. And again, this is all material. I should have done this hours ago. All material that has popped up, but it may be that the Russian military had convinced these young soldiers to join up and to take part in what would just be drills on the Ukrainian border, they having no idea they were going to be pushed into a war, and mentally they were not ready for it. And now they're in a war, and there you go. I mean, war is hell. I've never been a soldier. I have never been in war, but we can all assume that war is hell for whoever is involved in it. Here are some scenes of massive destruction in Chernihiv. Again, there's been activity going on there as of right now. This looks like an apartment building right here. You've got some vehicles that have been blown out. Again, war is hell, folks. This is interesting. Ukrainian civilians have begun to attack Russian military vehicles with Molotov cocktails. Let's get a look at this. Molotov cocktails can be an effective weapon, right? Burning up those vehicles right there. And this has been going on now, I think, for a while in various places in the Ukraine. We have the U.S. urging its citizens to leave Belarus immediately. Okay, let's run back to the top and see what is broken here in the last couple of minutes. Again, I don't want to forget anybody. Thank all of you who are here. I appreciate you popping in. We've been seeing this too, that the Russian watchdog is telling media not to use words invasion, assault, or declaration of war. Well, there may not be an official declaration of war, but I have to say this could be called an invasion or an assault. What else would you call it? A dalliance? A walk through the park? I don't know. Okay, we've got shelling in Severodonetsk. I mean, we're all going to learn how to speak Russian fairly well before this is over. Luhansk Oblast. Okay, let's have a look here. Or maybe more of a listen. Okay, all right, and a lot of that happening. Russia shuts airspace to Polish, Czech, Bulgarian planes as they already have to Russian planes earlier. Okay, so these nations have initially closed their airspace to Russian commercial jets, passenger jets. Now Russia has turned around and done the same thing to them. Of course, tit for tat. Kiev authorities have toughened curfew orders in the city, saying violators would be considered an enemy. Yet we just talked about that. That's from AFP News Agency. Russian column spotted 30 kilometers away from Endohar, Zaporizhia Oblast. Okay, so let's get a look at this, my friends. Again, there is just so much stuff moving around right now. So much equipment on both sides. This looks like it might have the Z on it here. Maybe an upside down Z or a backward Z. Yeah, all right. Not a very good view of that, but plenty of vehicles moving around with Z's on them. Z is the letter that the Russians like to use in this instance. Okay, folks. Again, we have more Russian tanks on the move. There still has not been a major. Okay, here we are. The Z's right here. The Z's that I mentioned right there. You see that? There still has not been the major assault to take over the capital city of Kyiv or Kiev, depending on how you want to pronounce it, yet. There has been some skirmishes there, but a lot of this is revolving around Kyiv being taken by the Russians. So far, whatever has come near there, the Ukrainians, I guess, have done a decent job of repelling it. This major move on the city of Kyiv has not yet occurred. The Ukrainians are certainly holding their own right now. We see here that Melitopol has fallen. The Ukrainians are holding their own, and we have to believe that the Russians have hardly unleashed the full fury of what they have available to unleash. But in the initial stages, maybe we could say this has not gone as well as Vladimir Putin would have hoped. I mean, there's been plenty of casualties on both sides. The Russians have experienced some losses, some important losses. But keeping in mind, again, in the fog of war, that Russia most likely has not, certainly they have not rolled across the border of the Ukraine everything that they have positioned there to go in. So while Ukraine is holding its ground right now, we will see in the coming hours just how this all plays out. If this spreads outside of this area, these are biblical times, mucking fuddled. These are biblical times indeed, my friend, which is why one of the reasons why I'm watching this so carefully, because this could become other things. This could spread, and while again we've talked about the hands. We're so busy watching this hand, we don't see what this hand might be doing. We're watching Russia, Ukraine. Let's call it that hand. This hand is China. Are we watching this hand right now? We have other hands. I mean, I unfortunately only have two hands, so I can't, and I'm not going to lift my feet up to show additional hands, but this I have to believe is only in the early stages, my friends. And there's going to be details popping up all throughout the day over the coming hours and days. And I feel, unfortunately, in my spirit that we have hardly seen the worst of this. But I just wanted to run through some quick details here. Again, what I find very interesting is the reports of the Ukrainian defectors being caught by the Ukrainian military police. We've seen some, and again, earlier this morning, some young Russian soldiers being caught by the Ukrainians, being held prisoner. The one Russian soldier crying because I'm sure he got into something he wasn't expecting. Well, when you become part of the military, and of course, again, me saying this having never been in the military, you should expect you might go to war. As far as a smokescreen, Wilson, yeah, this could all be a big smokescreen. Again, we have to have eyes in the back of our heads. We have to be watching everything right now. But folks, I appreciate the small group of you being here. I've got to get moving on other things. I've got to go get my vehicle serviced. I've got a lot I've got to do here. If situations warrant, I will stream again later on. I appreciate you all so much.